What's good? Your favorite rapper's time, your favorite movie star's time, your favorite's time. TheCzarr rights reserved in the building. Let's get into it. There's two key things we're going to discuss, and then I'll transition it for you. It's going to be about pharmacodynamics, and then I guess it's called pharmacokinetics. One of the things too I wanted to mention is factoring the trinomials and polynomials of this entire crime scene. And it's all going to come together. And I want you to think back to the ideology of when someone said, and they alleged that there was some type of concoction that could have been placed on him to turn his lips a certain color before we seen someone exit the car, and why he wasn't fighting back, as the witness named Victor said. Now, let's talk about what the kinetics and the dynamics are. Now, we're talking about when a foreign substance enters the bloodstream and how it travels through your bloodstream. It enters into your cells and destroys the cells from the inside out. What was the time period in between this could have happened if we're alleging it? It would happen fast, but when traveling through the bloodstream and your blood flows so normal, it can happen even quicker, especially if we're presuming he had some type of diet by which he didn't have coagulation of some sort within his stream. Now, we're thinking of these factors. You know, the trinomials, we're talking about 3 different factors. And the polynomials, we're talking about a multitude of factors doubled up. Now, if we think of these, it had to work perfectly. Think about this. It had to work in a way where allegedly, if there was an investigator that was moving in a certain way he shouldn't have, he would be some type of, let's say, centerpiece, because he would be the inside man giving the information out. And that normally does not happen to my knowledge, but it could. But he would have to be working with someone that is of rank. That is why I mentioned Riva Motorsports multiple times, because they were the place of the crime. So if we have the centerpiece being the investigator, we'd have to have someone there of knowledge to know that he's in the store. We've seen a message like that. Now, these witnesses, the way they grouped up, I see them as the polynomials, because they grouped up a certain way to deliver a story. So they were the medium piece between media all around and us, as well as knowledge of the situation by which they claimed. Now, when I called out the witness named Victor, he retracted and said he wasn't there. Why would he do that? It is because he became an outlier. So he became an outlying factor by which he could no longer stay credible, standing for what he stood for, if there's no video to show what he said happened. He didn't expect someone to question him. He didn't expect someone to call out the fact that he literally said he was there doing something and we didn't see it in video, and hold him to it. There was no way to know that. There was no way to know someone's actually going to question you, because you had a pseudo news anchor giving you those questions. You see these multiple moving parts. Then there's people that said they showed up at the hospital with him. But there's people there we know of that allegedly worked there that claimed he never came. You see how there's 2 different factors? There's diluting factors working as polar opposites to work against the mentality to screw up a lot of what we thought to have been the situation. These are very powerful factors, because this literally reenacts a lot of what we take in as information and knowledge. Now, when we're talking about the kinetics and dynamics of the situation, you got to think, not only was it like the alleged poison that would have moved through his veins as you present, and as you guys have said, it would have to work the same way as the terminology used to make him feel that he didn't need the guards versus people telling him he needed it. These were factors at work. It's either going to fall one way or the other, whichever proof pushes. But how could we gain that proof if the investigators did not do it the correct way? You see, that's why I said an investigator would be a centerpiece, because he literally controlled the propensity of the information released in order to give some type of justification, whether it's to the suspect's family, whether it's to the suspect, whether it's to the people that are alleging involved, whether it's to who they're coming into question. They control the weight placed on the information given. These are strong techniques to use in order to devise an understanding to oneself. Even think about this. So after the information happens there, it's then released into the media. Of course, there's certain people that control the propensity and weight placed on the media presented, even questioning or displaying some type of concern for the issue. That's how you control the masses within a system. It's the same way this works. It's no different. Look, they're destroying it from the inside out. They're looking within the story, within people's mentalities, and they're going to destroy it from the inside out. So the way they work, they come at character. They know it's justice for job, but they're going to work from the inside, finding who's really looking for justice. And they're going to create an outside method or an outside terminology or thought process to come at that person. Thus, we have Instagram. Thus, we have the Twitters. People saying things randomly. That's how it works. So we were never distracted. We were analyzing every single feat, every single thing, but we were being patient doing so. That's what you guys sometimes maybe didn't get, that I expected it. Because I know about pharmacodynamics and I know about pharmacokinetics. I know about these things. I know how it works. I know how it works with foreign substances. I know how these substances move through. It's through the bloodstream. The bloodstream would be through media, the source of media. Think of internet. Think of how internet runs. That would be the bloodstream. Internet is the most important thing to people of our generation and younger. Think about it. So when they're looking at this and they're seeing how it's moving all throughout the media and how there's different things, like there's something blocking here, there's something working here to destroy this, then there's something saying I'll go up and around and I'll destroy that so you don't have to worry about it. These are all forces moving together in unison in order to block the understanding of information. But they're using the internet as their bloodstream. Now, of course, you have the body by which it entered. That same ideology, the body by which it entered, is the system that they're persecuting the suspects in. So they're persecuting them in the body. They're not aiming for them in the bloodstream as much as the body, because they knew when they released their information on the news to public, they would have been destroyed. They knew it. So any fan meeting a suspect, it would have been drama off the rip, because they seen it through the bloodstream that these people are dangerous and they did this to X. It was about that initial reaction that they were able to formulate that plan. And I'm going to get deeper. This is as deep as I wanted to go. I said, what better day than to do it than 4th of July, Independence Day, independent, a day that we could think back and understand our Constitution gave us the freedom of speech. This is what it is. The dynamics, kinetics, and then you're looking in, factoring the polynomials and also looking at the trinomials, the three. Let's talk in specific about the trinomials, the three affecting factors. It was his guard being down. It was the monetary value. And it was some type of motive someone had in order to place him in that situation. You guys, a lot of people alluded to it being his own because of things he said. You're saying the universe affected it. That's one view of one of the trinomials, but that doesn't make it the overall view of exactly of how it worked. It could have been more motive around, and they seized on that opportunity in the universe to use that as an affecting factor to act on a hatred or some type of jealousy or some type of desire for a higher wealth. These are all affecting factors. I need you to understand that off the rip. And once you understand that, you'll begin to see it and even perceive my next narrative of the investigation documents and the ideology behind it. This is still going on behind the scenes. Think about it. The fight for the estate. You still have these polynomials affecting within the system of a person's bloodstream to enact something in the body. So to pull it out and make an effect in the system in order to get their way, it doesn't stop. It really doesn't. And this is all affecting the factor of the crime scene, the crime itself. Think about it. I'm about to get a bit deeper. I hope you enjoy this. If you have questions, mark them below. Hit subscribe, hit the bell, follow the channel. We're only going to get deeper. And you know how I rock. Shout to CommenterNation, greatest nation since United Nations. All rights reserved.